Hello. Are you Hi, Tom.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for coming to this evening. It's so good to see so many of you here. Thank you so much. We're so glad you could join us. I hope it's not too much of a thunderstorm where you are, because outside right now it's kind of biblical, which is interesting for a Thursday evening. But we hope you're doing okay during lockdown. We hope that you are managing to stay sane this time around and staying well lubricated with some highly intoxicating alcohol, hopefully, probably this evening, I should imagine. We're going to get started in just a couple of minutes. I'm just making sure everyone's coming in all right. I will ask you to just keep muted for the first part of the evening, and then we're going to open up the floor to questions and chat with Joseph. I've just spoken to him, and he's absolutely buzzing to speak to you all, so thank you so much for coming down here. Just another note, we are recording this evening just for a couple of clips for social media, and there were one or two friends, family, and a few people that had bought the book that had asked to come tonight, but you know, in Pacific Standard Time, where at the moment it's still in the middle of their work day, sadly, or Australia, where it's 5 o'clock in the morning. So so I hope that's all right. But as I say, we'll get going in just a couple of minutes, and thank you all so much for coming again. Okay, we're going to get started. Can everybody hear me? Give me a big wave if you can hear me. Excellent, fantastic, lovely. Well, thank you so much for coming to this virtual book launch for Work and Other Four-Letter Words. My name's Tom. I've been working with Joe on promoting the book, and if you haven't had a chance to read it already, I know that some of you have pre-ordered your book, some of you got some signed copies. If you haven't had a chance to get it already, as an actor myself, I can tell you that there's many lessons to be learned and a lot of real home truths in it. So, you know, I can wholeheartedly recommend it. It's been lovely working on it. But we are here because it is release day today. This book is already #2 on the bestsellers on Amazon for acting and auditioning. It's already the #2 book. In one day, we've managed to get there. So thank you so much for that. And the only thing that's really left for me to do is to introduce the man of the hour. Joseph Millson has been a busy professional actor for over 25 years, having played leading roles at most of the major theatres in England, including the National Theatre, the Royal Court, and the RSC. He has appeared in West End musicals and has won several awards for his stage work. He has appeared in a dozen feature films, including Angel Has Fallen and Casino Royale. His extensive television career has included regular leading roles in The Last Kingdom, Banished, 24, Holby City, Campus, The Sarah Jane Adventures, and Peak Practice. Joseph has taught in many of the leading drama schools in the UK. He is patron of the Actors Centre London, associate of the Royal Shakespeare Company, and fellow of Rose Bruford College. Like no other actor's memoir you've ever read before, this is the hilarious, behind-the-scenes, no-holds-barred account of Millson's first decade in the second oldest profession. Work is about the shit that sticks to the walls of a career. Honest, poignant, truthful, and spellbinding. Ladies and gentlemen, give me some snaps for Mr. Joseph Millson.
Oh, you can all come off mute for a minute, surely. Can I just say this? I'm already quite drunk.
Me too.
This is almost exactly like being at your own funeral. I just want to be very clear now about you are all invited to the funeral, and there is no dress code. Just want to make that really clear now. Except Andy Nyman. Andy's not welcome. He knows why. That's fine. Anyway, as you were. What? Yeah, they could all be off mute. Do you want to all be off mute for a minute, Tom? I know it causes chaos.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Go for it.
Zoom is so weird because you can't
Yeah.
hear people adoring you.
I know.
We love you. We love you, Joe.
Yeah, gorgeous.
New Messiah.
Yes. Anyway, it's just amazing looking at all these lovely people. So look, I've only been to one book launch in my life. Look at the set. I just want to thank the designer. I've only been to a book launch once, and as I remember, Tom, they kind of go drinks, canapes, pretend you want to be there, shake a few hands, chat, and then someone bangs a table. Marina, look, you know about this. Someone bangs a table. The writer's agent stands up and tries to remember what the book was about and introduces it. And then the author reads a bit of the book begrudgingly, does not sell it, makes it sound shit, and then everyone mulls about, buys someone else's book, and goes home. So how we translate that to Zoom, Tom and I have no idea. We thought we'd just have a drink, say hello. I do have a literary agent now.
Wow.
And he's okay. But he genuinely can't be here till 20 past, half past. I know. Such a benefit. He can't be here. He's got a real client. He has to do some. So
Does that mean you're going to have to write another book, Joe?
I'm going to have to write another book. Yes,
Go on then.
exactly. But the minute he turns up, I'll force him to say something. In the meantime, what do we do now, Tom?
Well, Joe, it's just about time that we had a bit of the book because everybody's seen it. Everybody knows you. I think we all know you. I think before that, we need to raise a glass to work and to the
To work. The concept for many of us. Let's raise a glass to the concept of work.
More like it.
Here's the idea of work. Okay, look, to fill some time then, shall I read a bit of it?
Yeah.
I've got to blow my nose. Very cheap cocaine in Leighton Buzzard.
Disgraceful.
Very cheap. Right. Okay, what we'll do, won't do too much this. God, I need
You're going to read all of it?
What, Pete?
You're going to read all of it?
That's right. Yeah. It's only
Shouldn't we be all getting a free copy somehow? Isn't that
That's
what happens?
Mute them, Tom. Mute them. They're getting leery. Mute them.
I told you this would happen. There you go.
Bartholomew, why aren't you in the same room as your wife?
Because I'm self-isolating. And that's not a euphemism.
What, personality issues? What,
Sorry?
personality issues?
Yeah, that's what it is. They all hate me.
Sorry, I hope you're not well. Nobody hates you. Right, okay. No, you don't have to be muted, but yeah. Oh God, here we go. Okay, this is mortifying, but great. Here we go. So I'm going to read. For those of you who've read it, here's a sample of the audiobook. And for those of you, here is the prologue. The Bahamas, 2nd of March, 2006. The driver asks me if I want to go to my hotel or straight to the party. What party? I ask. It's Daniel's birthday today. The producers are throwing a little party. Oh, I say. Let's go to that. We drive for a long time, and though I've been too excited to sleep for 20 hours, I eagerly try to glimpse what I can of the Caribbean world through my blurry vision. My only pair of glasses has been written off under a businessman's foot on the flight. The sun is setting. I crack open the window to breathe in the tropical air and try to take stock. I try, but fail. It's too much to grasp. I'm on my way to Daniel Craig's birthday party in the bloody Bahamas. I'm playing a cool little part in a James Bond film. I'm here on a break from rehearsing my dream role of Benedict in Much Ado About Nothing for the Royal Shakespeare Company. I've just finished performing a lead role in an Ibsen play, Pillars of the Community, at the National Theatre. We eventually pull up at the edge of a beach where a party is in full swing. A Bahamian band is playing an irresistible rake and scrape beat at incredible volume. Strings of coloured lights illuminate beach bars and tables of exotic-looking food. The car door is open for me, and I'm immediately met by a very merry Daniel Craig. He marches towards me, screaming, "Yes, another fucking actor! Welcome!" He stuffs a fat cigar into my mouth, sucks my back, and bounces off towards a dance floor. I laugh and stammer, "Happy birthday." The fruit punch is delicious, highly alcoholic, and I'm suddenly very thirsty. I drink glass after glass after glass. By the time I meet our producer, Barbara Broccoli, I am utterly pissed. But it's fine. It's fine. I feel like I've known her all my life. Within an hour, I'm skin dipping with the cast and crew in the Atlantic Ocean. Within 3 hours, I'm unconscious. I awake in an enormous bed with absolutely no idea of where I am or how I got there. The sensation doesn't pass for what feels like an age. And then slowly, as my head and stomach alert me to their fragility, I'm able to finally take stock. I am indeed in the Bahamas. I am doing that Bond film, and my career is rather shiny right now. But as I lurch my way towards what I pray is the bathroom, I recall with every heave of my stomach the long and difficult road I've travelled to get here. Here you go. So that's the prologue, which was Jason, my agent, who I don't think has turned up yet. It didn't have.
Jason has just popped in.
Well, look, bring him in, and I'm going to say, where is he?
Hello, I'm here.
Here
Joe.
he is. Jason Bartholomew of BKS Agency, everybody.
Hello.
I'm about to mention you, sir. I've just read the prologue, and I was just going to say there wasn't a prologue to this book till Jason amazingly read it and said, "Look, I'm trying to sell this bastard." You start with the most miserable, penniless, shitty time. You've got to put some showbiz in at the start. So I started with a very tame version of what was an orgiastic night with Daniel Craig. And I can tell you, he's a very generous lover. But there was no prologue till Jason got involved, and I'm really grateful he did, because there's something weird happened. I've learned to write through working with some amazing people on this book, which I'll talk about in a minute. But in putting a prologue in and framing it, I suddenly went for an edit after putting a prologue in. With that, I then saw the book as an outsider might see it, and I'm so grateful to Jason, because the next edit lopped 20 pages out. I suddenly went, "Oh, I see how this works." Anyway, so I'm gonna throw over to Jason briefly before I emotionally get into my thank you speech. So, Jason, you are on the spot. As
I'm ready.
Go.
All right. Well, first, I want to say, huge congrats to you, because, it's fantastic. It's a great moment. When I was introduced to you by Sam Carter, is Sam on the call? If so, hello, Sam.
So I hope so.
I immediately love the idea of the book.
Hi, Jason. Hi, Joe.
Hey, hello, sir. It's obviously a memoir in many ways, of course, but I really found it to be so raw and honest, and a look at kind of the sheer will and determination it takes for anyone to make it in the arts. And you write with such vibrant energy. When I read the book, I really actually felt fucking tired. I thought, God, this is really exhausting. I just thought to myself, how the hell can anyone ever become a successful actor, let alone to kind of keep going back and back and back to kind of really learn to love an art so much that you want to kind of keep pushing through. And so I thought right, your determination to actually become an actor means this book's going to get published. And while I couldn't sell it to a traditional publisher, which I deeply regret as my job as your agent to do, I think I was proved right that you've actually seen this through and been able to put together this great book, which, by the way, has an amazing cover. So really, congratulations to you, and thanks for making me be your agent. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's amazing. Honestly, I can't thank you enough. And it is, we should. I like the whole book is about being brutally honest. So we'll be brutally honest. Jason and I had a year trying to sell this the traditional way, and it was The Bridesmaid and Never the Bride with several publishers, and they all. I mean, the shortcut was, wow, he can really write. It's a really good book, but he's not famous enough. So hang on to it till you get your Lord of the Rings movie, and then we'll take it. Well, I thought life's too short. And then, this last 18 months or so or whatever happened, and it was the perfect opportunity / excuse to finish The Bastard and to go for it. And but the help I've had, so we've segued weirdly into a thank you. I just want to, it's been, the whole book is about a very, oh shit, here comes the emotion. Fuck. The whole book is about a very solitary.
You're pissed. I can tell.
This is my brother Peter James Milton, who clearly is mid-take in his recording studio.
Listen, I can't help it.
Okay, all right. Shut the fuck up, Pete. I'm talking. So it's about, no matter if you've got wonderful parents, girlfriends, wives, children, it's dancer, sculptor, painter, writer, director, actor. If you're doing the artistic thing, you only wake up with yourself when it comes to that stuff. And it's lonely and it's tough. And I discovered it was actually a book about falling in love with labor, falling in love with the actual graft. And it could, hopefully, it seems to translate to people who aren't in the profession in a similar way, that you've got to love the work itself, whatever you do, or you're screwed, So anyway, but I had no idea, and other people have brought me to it growing up, and to me actually going, okay, I'm not just an actor now. Maybe there is another way to tell stories in my life, which has been amazing. In our whole house, this house has become a writing house through lockdown. Sarah Jane has written a 6-part TV show. Brilliant. Just off the bat, which is amazing. But I just do want to thank, genuinely, Thomas, who has been amazing. Thomas at eventsmanage.com. If you need events managed and a dude to help you out with stuff, please call on Thomas. As always, I can't see everyone's boxes, but there is a lady called Karen Saunders who's been running a website, Darcylicious. I don't know how to describe them, but she runs websites for actors through just sheer love of people doing good work. And she's run the josephmilson.com thing for 10 more years. I'm going to get this wrong. I don't know where she is. But anyway, I'm ever indebted to Karen. She's just been this support thing that I don't understand, but I'm not going to question. And then with the book, the first person, apart from Sarah Jane, who read it page by page, bless her, and basically, if she laughed, I kept it, and if she didn't, I went away and cried and rewrote it. The first other person to read it was an actor called Anthony Cousins, who I was on The Last Kingdom with. There he is. Literally, I think Anthony was the next person to read it. We were on set in the freezing cold, pretending to be on the top of a castle, freezing our nuts off, telling anecdotes. And he said the immortal line, "You've got to write this shit down." And I said, well, funnily enough, the poor bastard, he said it, which was, let me tell you, a former title of the book. The former titles of the book explain what it was. The first thing it was called was, "You've got to write this shit down," because people were always saying that to me, because I collect disaster stories more than anyone. Then it was going to be called "The Shit That Sticks to the Walls." And then I've got to credit my wife here with the best title for any book that's ever been given, and maybe only actors here will understand. It was then going to be called "Fuck You, Nina Gold." which might be the best title for a book. that has ever existed. Nina Gold, for anyone who doesn't know, is the most powerful casting director in England and who has never yet seen me for an audition. Or Sarah Jane, and Sarah Jane used to be flat up Orion. So let's all just say, fuck you, Nina
Disgrace.
Gold!
Fuck you, Nina Gold!
This is going to go straight to her. I love you, Nina. I love you, Nina. I love you, Nina. I love you, Nina. So,
She's had me in loads of times.
Fergus, what's the story?
She's had me in loads of times.
Of course,
She's lovely.
Did you get one of them?
No, never.
There you are. You see.
Okay, this is going to get lit. I'm doing my fucking speech.
Sorry. Carry on.
Look at the amount of weight I've put on in lockdown.
I see it.
And I've got a hernia. Anyway. And then Jason got involved, and somewhere along the line, this amazing woman called Alexa Tewkesbury. I don't even remember how we met. I can see Alexa. Alexa is a professional editor, copy editor, reader, and writer. She does this for a living. I'm not even sure how I did it, but I convinced her to do this for free. So after Anthony gave it a good read and gave it the most phenomenal notes and edits, Alexa then did a couple of passes. This is the stuff I could never have afforded on my own. I was doing it all on my own, and Alexa, literally gold dust, sent from editor heaven. And Jason, amazing, and he put me in touch with Sam Carter at Tandem Publishing, who, if anyone wants to do their own book, Tandem make a self-published thing look like it came from Random House or Penguin. They just make this stuff so grown up, it's unbelievable. And they won't let you go until it is mint. So I'm incredibly indebted there. And my early readers, I have these, after nearly 30 years titting about in the business, I've managed to not offend a few people. And I sent the book to all of the people I hadn't offended who knew about writing. So Irvin Welsh is a friend of mine and was the first writer per se to read it, and his advice that came back was the best thing ever. In fact, I sent him half of it, and he said, as I remember, he said, you know that shit that you write and think, oh fuck, that's not how people write. He said, more of that, please, which I thought was just brilliant. And then Russell T Davies, I don't know if anyone's heard of him. He's not done much, but he was hugely helpful and inspiring, and Ian Kelly and Andy Nyman and everyone who read it early and gave me these wonderful quotes that were worth so much to someone who couldn't get it to a newspaper. And they're all on the cover. Although we got our first newspaper review in the Telegraph today, which isn't easy when you're self-published. You have to bribe. Anyway, it's a great review. It's out in the actual paper tomorrow, I think. And then, my wife, who has been, it's actually nearly 4 years of writing this, isn't it?
Yeah.
About 4 years. And Sarah Jane's been amazing. So that's the end of all of my family. Obviously, my mum and my brother and my kids. I don't know which kids. Jess was here. Buster's here somewhere. Gabe, Jess. Jess has just finished reading the book, so you can give us a review. In fact, let's have Jess is doing English literature at Bristol University. Go.
I loved it, obviously, for personal reasons and because I actually thought you did an all right job, considering you can't normally string a sentence together. It was nice to be reading this amongst 5 Chaucer books this week. So
you see, I did well by comparison to Chaucer.
Yes.
Brilliant.
That's fine. I'll take that. Thank you, Jess. Thank you very, very much. And hi, by the way, daughter. Buster, where are you? I think Buster may have had to go. My son, Gabriel, couldn't be here because he had a really important meeting with some online gaming.
There.
Buster is there.
Right.
Buster's there, top right. How you doing, Buzz? He's muted. Oh no, he's actually mute. I forgot to say Buster, my stepson, is mute. So that's I can lip read for you. He just said, Joe, you're amazing. You're better than my real dad. Go on. What else? And I wish I looked like you. That's fine. That's great. Thanks, Buzz. I forgot to mention other early readers like Harriet Walter gave me a quote, Richard Eyre. I feel like I haven't mentioned people who I should, and I'm just astounded. And yeah, that's the end of that. What do we do now?
You read some more.
What happens now? Tom, help!
Does anybody writers book launch events, as you said earlier, Joe, we'd have some Q&A. So does anybody have any questions about the book?
Do I read a bit more?
Daniel Craig?
Do I read a bit more? What do we do? Hello, I'm Marina.
Yeah, go on, read a bit more. Read a bit more.
And Marina's got a question, then I'll
Yeah,
read.
there's two questions from the Bennett household.
God.
Go on then.
One is, can I just clarify, is SJ standing up?
Oh, fuck you. Yeah.
This is probably going to be my second book. For those that don't know, we have a collection of photographs of Sarah Jane. Please stand up, Sarah Jane. Thank you. That's Sarah Jane at full height. Sarah Jane with enormous objects. We collected photographs of Sarah Jane with enormous chairs, enormous pickles, enormous bus stops, whatever. And so there will be a book of these photos at some point. Lost on anyone who hasn't seen them.
And now a less serious question from Marina.
Well, no, it's not necessarily a less serious question. First of all, it's such a great book. We're really proud of you. Well done. We're so proud. The second thing I wanted to say was that there's a great bit in the book which deserves to go viral, but it's a fantastic part where you say, if you don't know who the arsehole is in the company, it's probably you.
It's always you, yeah.
Now that
famous, it's a famous saying, but you don't actually find. Well, that's a whole theme in the book. Is that I don't learn. You can be told things in life, but as I'm sure my children are finding out, and you can be told things 1,000 times, but you don't actually learn anything until you hit it with your face at quite high speed, and then go, oh, that hurts, or that. And that's how you learn. So that's a running theme. Shall I try and find a quick bit that's along those themes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Marina, no, Ossian, you're going to say when.
Okay. Now.
And I'm cheating because I put bookmarks in, so let's pretend. You said now, brilliant. Okay. Oh, well. Okay, so, 1998, all right? We're in 1998, a year when I used to have a lot of sex. Okay, adverts can be a load of bollocks. Before I digress into the psychologically scarring effects of getting rejected on a regular basis for over a quarter of a century, let's get back to commercials. I just couldn't get them at all. Apart from this one for black vodka, I only ever got close to one other, and that was only due to my testicles upstaging me in the audition. Sorry. Brilliant. See, that's why I'm married to her. I dragged myself to yet another advert casting set up by my agent. It was for a fizzy drink of some kind, and I was warned that I may be asked to take my shirt off in the room, as the advert required the actor to go topless. I sighed, but agreed to turn up and try my best. I've been in similar situations before. Advert castings are attended by as many models as actors, and my early headshots must have been just handsome enough to get me into the waiting rooms alongside really good-looking models. This was usually fine, as what happened in the room was often as much about acting as modeling. The dread came when they wanted to sometimes see our bodies. Then the toned and honed models were at a very distinct advantage. In my 20s, I had what I can only refer to as the body of a retired chess player. I'd never lifted a weight in my life. I was fit from years of football and skateboarding, but I had never seen the inside of a gym. There was absolutely no muscle definition to be seen. I was shaped like a long-armed barrel. So I sat in the waiting room with what looked like half a dozen Calvin Klein models, reading the few pages of script about some man swimming in boiling lava and being saved by a fizzy drink, when the receptionist asked if we could all take our shirts and trousers off and be ready in our underwear to save time. Nobody batted an eyelid, simply started to strip to their boxer shorts and t-shirts all around me. I could see six-pack stomachs and shaven chests everywhere. I felt sick. With my shirt off, it was only the position of my nipples and my belly button that gave any clue as to which was my chest and which was my stomach. Well, finally, it was my turn. And as I entered the room, I was asked to stand in only my underwear on a painted cross on the floor and give my name and agent's details to the camera. I had worn what I thought were my very best underpants. A pair of jersey boxer shorts that seemed to always look clean and were vaguely modern. And then it was time to improvise the advert with the casting director calling out instructions as I went. Okay, you're in boiling lava, right? You're dying. You're pleading for help. Suddenly you're handed a can of fizz piss. I can't remember what the actual drink was called. Now you're loving it in the lava, yeah? You're loving it. So swim, dance, go mad, yeah? Dance, enjoy it. That's it. Great, all right, thank you, next. I'd gone for it. I was handy with a bit of mime and happy to go mad in my own sub-Jim Carrey way. I'd made some fairly funny faces. I'd even put my head between my legs at one point, stuck my tongue out at the camera. Who knows? Maybe this time I'd triumph over those posers. By the time I got back to my flat, the light was flashing on my answer phone. Before mobile phones entered our lives, that flashing red light always seemed to promise the hope of a job offer. It was indeed a message from my agent saying to call her straight away. Apparently, they had loved what I'd done, wanted me to go back in a couple of days to do exactly the same again in front of a few more people. I returned later that week and was shown into the room. There were at least 10 people crammed in behind the camera. There was also a strange atmosphere, as if I'd just interrupted a private joke. But I thought nothing of it and happily stripped to my underwear and stood on the cross to perform my lava dance, which I'd been working on and was now sure that they would go for. Everybody was watching intently, but seemed disappointed. A few were giggling, or more precisely, trying not to giggle. I felt exposed and weird. As soon as I got home, I called my agent and told her how odd it all was. And she said she'd investigate. What she told me a few hours later was one of those things you just never expect to hear. She said the casting director was very sorry. He felt awful. But when they watched the audition tapes of the original auditions, somebody had noticed something about my lava dance. Apparently, as I bent over to put my head between my legs and stick my tongue out at the camera, my testicles were visibly sticking out from my clearly not so wonderful as I thought boxer shorts. He further explained that by some fluke of camera angles, they were positioned exactly where my eyes should have been. It caused a sensation in their office. Paused, rewound, watched in slow motion by all. They called me back in just so everyone could meet Mr. Ballface in the flesh. He assured my agent the tapes would be destroyed, but I wonder. There you go. The glamour.
That's fabulous.
That one was for Marion. I think it might work on radio.
Hey, speaking of sexiness, why don't you unbutton that top button down one just a bit, fine man?
If you're wondering how I've got through lockdown, ladies and gentlemen, I have been doing telephone sex. I've developed some very strong relationships with some people. This is Doug and Rebecca here, all the way over in Maine, in America. And I've been doing a lot of group sex with them. So just forgive me. I've got to pay the rent. So Doug and and their kids. Obviously their kids are.
He made a baby. He made a baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Epic.
Look at that. Now I would cast that in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me?
You guys are out. You need to mute yourselves right now.
Can't wait to get my hands on that furry chest of yours.
Leave, mute. Nobody needs to know. Okay, Tom, what are we doing now? Is it questions? Shall I pick
I think questions. I think it is questions if anybody's got any burning.
What I'll do, if anyone has any questions about anything, Paul Ryan always has questions.
I've got a quick question.
My brother again. I'm sorry, everyone.
Christ. Okay. Which is, do you still have those underpants as a sort of souvenir?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you still
Okay,
have the
good.
bollocks?
This is the interesting point, if I may overshare slightly. I never had the bollocks. I have quite small balls. So that makes the whole story even more remarkable.
I do have a question, Joe.
Yes, Paul.
I remember reading an early draft. There was a brilliant passage where you exposed yourself to be a terrible thief of money.
Yeah, that's in there.
Is it still in?
It's still in.
Oh, brilliant. Fantastic.
And now I'm going to have to explain. I can't read it all out because I don't know how long that section is. But anyone who knows the King's Head Theatre in Islington, wonderful theatre, been around forever, wonderful, marvellous. But the guy who used to run it for 30 odd years was a chap called Dan Crawford. And I first worked there at 16 years old. My mum will get this right. I was at Newbury College, 16-ish years old, work experience. I thought I was going to be a stage manager for a long time. And so I trained I wanted to get work experience as a chippy, as a set painter. And they said, yeah, we'll have free labor for 2 weeks. Ended up working there for 6 weeks, I think, a whole summer anyway, pretty much on and off, staying with my poor brother, really annoying my brother. I hope I wrote about that rightly for you. It must have been so annoying. They used me as slave labor for a bit, but also then he said, yeah, you don't want to be building theatre sets. Why don't you convert the loft for my daughter's bedroom? So I was up in moving asbestos with my bare hands for weeks, making a bedroom for his daughter. Cut to when I became an actor, one of the first jobs I got was a musical at the King's Head, directed by Dan Crawford, playing opposite his daughter, whose bedroom I had converted. He never paid me for converting the bedroom. We did the longest run of a musical at the King's Head Theatre ever. We did like 14 weeks of a musical called The Fantastics. And we were paid £108 a week or something. Equity minimum then was about 210. So I discovered he had no bank account and all the money from the pub downstairs used to be hidden around the flat. And because he'd known me since I was 16, I said, look, there's no room to warm up on stage. Can I warm up in the flat? Yes, of course you can. So I spent the next month or two very carefully finding his money and lifting exactly the amount to get me to equity minimum every week. And I then put in for good measure 200 quid for the loft.
Fair enough.
Brilliant, brilliant. Oh,
So there we are. That's happily, he's dead now, so I can't be sued for that. Sadly, not true of a few others in the book. I'm slightly nervous about lawsuits. Sam and everyone at Tandem did go through the book with me, and we were quite careful. There's just a couple left I'm nervous about. Book 2, let me tell you, Jason.
Woo!
Book 2, we need.
I want the juice. I want the juicy stuff.
We need some kind of it's
You
serious.
need lawyers. Lawyers is what you
Lawyers,
need.
man.
No, let's have fun.
Let's have fun. There you go.
Yeah.
Put it there first. So there we are. Any other questions? Pete, that was a good question. Paul, Ryan, that was a good question. I'm very drunk.
so we all.
I've got another page of people. So
Actually, I've got another very boring traditional question in terms of books, but how long did it take you to write it?
Thank you. I'd say on paper, literally 4 years, but that's because I used to be a busy working actor. And I used to have loads of work to do, which got in the way all the time. And then, so I'd do a bit each year. And then I did Mary Poppins was the job where I was able to really get it, the last half of it done, because it was a great gig in every way on earth, but I had a good 45 minutes off stage, at least in that show, to sit and do that, and the train rides in and out. So it got finished in that year I was doing that show, really. But 4 years, I'd say, which is a bit nerve-wracking about there's a lot of desire for a second book, and I would love to write the second book. I'm very nervous about writing the second book because it involves some very painful chapters in my life and my children's life, and I don't want to overshare. It's not a spill all, it's not, but I want to keep up the same level of honesty. But what it's about is, anyone who has read this book, there are sections where I have a good look at what a dickhead I have been, and my greatest year of being a dickhead will be in the second book. and
Great, I'll pre-order it. Fantastic.
In fact, you could probably write that year for me, Pete.
It's a good title.
What is being a dickhead?
Let's call it Dick.
What a dickhead I have been.
What a dickhead I've been, or just Dick, another four-letter word.
Dick, another four-letter word.
That's the one.
Yeah, brilliant. There we are, sorted. So there we are. I'm going to flick around till somebody's got their hand up now. Oh God, it's Sasha again. He's just a hog. He was like this at school. I didn't go to school with him.
I'm so sorry.
Matthew.
Matthew, do you want to jump in first?
Yeah, I just wanted to know. Hey there. Hi, everybody.
Matthew, great screenwriter.
Hi, everybody.
Still my actor heart.
I wanted to know, did you have like a method I assume you when you start this kind of thing, you don't have all the memories coming back to you, but that at some point you hit on something that you say, this makes me remember, like that time in my life. Were you going by playbills that you had collected? Were you going by old scripts that you had found? Like, was there something that eventually you would say, this helps me track it?
Brilliant question. Thank you, and hello, my friend. Can't believe you're here. I used to keep filofaxes very religiously. I'm really gutted I don't anymore, because I used to keep, even when I threw the diary pages away, I would keep the calendar page, and that calendar page had all the jobs blocked out. And those were the days they used to overlap sometimes, and I used to look back at those years and go, Lord, that was a good year, and then that was a shit year. You could see the actor's year, so I kept all the calendar pages at the front. That was my Bible for what job followed what and which one overlapped what. And then I wrote a skeleton, so I would just have the job title and literally put down 10 things I remembered, one line, move on. And so I'd written the whole book in points, filled 3 pages of paper, 10 years of jobs. I don't know, but it was really, and then I went back to the start and I wrote it as I went. So those points were left at the back of the text always until they eventually shrunk and met the actual book. I've done that for book 2. I've done the of work, but I'm trying to pluck up courage to write it. Plus I've found myself writing film scripts now a bit. I've written one with Sasha and Three Wise Monkeys, and I'm doctoring another script for someone at the moment, which is amazing. Just trying to make, I don't think he's here. Oh God, if he's here, this would be terrible. John, it's great. Anyway, I'm just trying to make some dialogue a bit more actable. I think I've just killed myself.
Oh, that's a great way to say it.
Thank you, Matthew. Liz Robertson,
yes.
one and only.
So, I want to know when you're going to perform The Lifted Veil again, because I want to see that.
The Lifted Veil, for anyone who hasn't read the book, was a one-man show of a little novella by George Eliot. It's in my loft. I've still got the costume and the props in a suitcase. I don't know. I actually would love to.
I know. You say in the book you'd like to read.
Yeah, I would love to. It's a big old learn. It's 1 hour and 20 of George Eliot sentences, and her sentences go on for about 4 yards each. And it's wonderful. It needs a redo. And in fact, Loveday Ingram, the amazing Loveday Ingram, who's directed my greatest hits, is here somewhere, I think. And she and I it needs someone else to look at it from the outside. But it's a good show. I've got to pluck up the opportunity.
Here I am.
Yeah.
Just saying, here I am.
It's an amazing George Eliot. Do you know what? Anyone who loves George Eliot, I love George Eliot. Middlemarch, Mill on the Floss, amazing. But this book is so unlike her. She got writer's block. Talking about writing, she got writer's block while she was writing Mill on the Floss because it was too personal and too close to home, and it was killing her. And she went, oh! And Frankenstein had just come out. She couldn't believe a woman had her name in print with a book like that when she was calling herself George Eliot. And then this Gothic stuff, she went, wow, look at that. And just to divert her own brain as an exercise, she tried to write a spooky little story. And so it's very unlike other George Eliot. I think it's profoundly beautiful. And it's a little book. And no one knew about it. Virago have republished it. But anyway, so it's also got a kind of, lost George Eliot thing about it. Yeah, and anyone who hasn't read the book, I did a one-man show of it. And I won an award, the Dracula Society.
Dracula Society, I love that. I love that.
As I said, not many people have got one of those. Not many people have heard of one of those. There you go.
Joe, we're going to do it.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Right, they are Loveday, Bridget, CoPro, it's on.
Fantastic.
Ian.
Possibly do it. Could you stream it? Could you do it over Zoom? Could you do a streamed version of it?
Here's the thing, Ian.
Is there any other way at the moment?
There isn't any other way, but here's the problem. I can't be asked.
Oh, that's just not good enough, Joe. That's not good enough.
Because I know what it is to learn that thing. I'm going to wait until I can earn at least £310 a week.
Joe, I've got a solution. I'll tell you later.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah. I think we can probably manage £310 a week, Loveday and Joe.
I'm in.
Just saying.
310. Just so you know, 310.
Yeah, no, we can.
Unless it's a film, Sasha Bennett.
I think Loveday,
Unless it's a film.
Loveday needs a bedroom being built, and
Oh, well,
at the same time that you're building it, we record the
It's absolutely fine.
Sasha, we're sorted.
Sorted. Oh, this is amazing.
It's a win-win for everybody apart from Joe.
Come out with a low-paid theatre gig. I'm over.
That's exactly what this night was all about.
Yeah. Look, I just want to say there's some people here I haven't seen in the flesh for. I'm sorry that I'm drunk. It would have been so much more civilized. Look, Harriet, I'm really
but less entertaining.
Harriet Walter, ladies and gentlemen, and Harriet. Look, what are you on there? Oh, you're on mute. That's what you're on.
I'm on orange juice or something. No, aloe vera juice. So she's just saying aloe vera.
That's why you're still just, cracking out the incredible performance at the age of 137. The rest of us are on champagne and falling apart.
Well, the night is young. I can get drunk later.
Well, thank you for being. Oh my God! Look, there's people here from drama school. Nikki, Karen. My God, this is ridiculous.
Hello, Joe. Hi, Peter, as well. It's so nice to see you.
It is.
And Jess, I haven't seen since she was a baby.
Hi.
There you
go. Look at you all grown up. It's
Crazy.
really
Right.
well done, Joe.
Thank you, lovely.
Fucking great book, but
There
I'm
you
on
go.
2005 and I don't want to finish it.
I'll hurry up and write the next one.
That last bit.
Well, actually, Joe, that was going to be my question from 3 days ago when I put my hand up. Why did it stop at that point in time? Was it because you got to page 350, or did you think, I don't want to, I don't want to rush this? And obviously, this is a selfish
where
question.
the decision came. Do you know what? So I can't quite remember when I decided doing the whole thing is just ridiculous, because it's gonna be like The Hobbit. And I want to write in detail, so I'd rather do it in chunks. And also, I think also all that story about, every cell in our body is supposedly has gone in every 7 years or some such thing. But certainly in every 10 years, it feels like life does have stages. And it is interesting just mapping out the next 10 years. It's a really interesting change of human being again. So I think it's just accidentally, it was just about being digestible. And then it became actually something I feel like is part of the design now. And I always loved, I got into acting very late. I wasn't stage struck as a child at all. As my mum will tell you, it was a late onset development. In fact, I actually discovered acting at drama school, which is really weird. But I sort of landed there slightly by accident. and then went, oh, at drama school. Annie Tyson here is my main acting tutor there. And oh God, I've completely lost my train of thought.
Why it stopped at 2005?
Yeah. 10-year installments. Anyway, yeah, it just made sense.
Okay. Well, okay. But basically, I'm just going to get to, so our Winter's Tale feature will be in book 3 then?
Yes, yes. So I have, this is the writing world. Before this was published, let's say sold. I sold a script to Sacha, which he'd commissioned from me, and then I made him buy, of a movie of The Winter's Tale, which we are making, and it's getting increased. Let's tell the people about it here. Harriet Walter, bless her, has has read it, and it's got better. I must send her a new draft. David Tennant has signed on, Richard Armitage. We've got incredible actors signing on to do it. And Matthew was incredibly helpful reading that for me. So that's hopefully shooting in the next year and a half-ish, year, whatever. We'll get it done in, where is it, Croatia?
Wait, what are you talking about? Well,
In Serbia.
It's Serbia.
Serbia.
And secondly, you're on set tomorrow. What are you on about?
Tomorrow.
Sober up fast.
£310 a day, Sacha.
That's what I budgeted, so that's fine.
Doug Henning has a question, but let's move on to someone else. Doug, what do you want to say?
Oh, a serious question. Congratulations, and I can't wait to read it. Sorry, I haven't read it yet. We're waiting here. You know, everything's on back order here in America. So my question to you is there any plans for you to do a screenplay about this?
Oh,
this book? Period piece, maybe?
A what piece?
A period piece?
Period piece, yes. Well, no, it would be, wouldn't it? I mean, those early 90s would feel like, yeah. It's really weird. Never crossed my mind, but my showbiz wife is talking to people about her TV show, and they're here, I think. And some of those lovely people have read my book as well, and they said, hey, you know, who's going to option that and adapt that? But how the hell would that ever make a thing? I can't quite see it myself, but you never know.
You're not getting me back in a nappy.
No. Yes. No.
It could be a narrative.
I think it's going to stretch itself to an audio book at some point, and that'll be that. Yes, Jason's nodding. Yeah. Anyone else? You know, I can let you all go back to the wild. Hang on, is that Roy Williams? Oh, my giddy aunt. I didn't know we had royalty here. This is ridiculous. Roy, you're being unmuted, sir. He's just got his slave, one of his concubines, in, unmuting the computer as we speak. This is Roy Williams.
Hey, Joe.
Hello, my friend.
Quick question. I haven't read the book yet. Looking forward to it. Just wondering, did you dare yourself to mention any of your days of Rose Bruford, or was that too much?
No, I would have loved to. I made a point of my book being a bit different to other actor memoirs by having no mention of my childhood as a sort of narrative. And my childhood, it starts on day one of doing this for a living. And it's literally each job. So it's the shit that stuck to the wall. So some of them get 5 pages, some of them get 2 lines. There's a short film where I said, you know, I'll put it there because I did it. And I said, cannot remember a fucking thing about this. That's all that gets. And then others get 6 pages because it really affected me. Drama school and everything that came before, I wanted to only be mentioned if it comes out, because I used to love, because I got into acting late, this might have been what I was going to say earlier. Because I got stage struck quite late, I devoured actors' biographies. I didn't even realize you could do this for a living until I was 18. And I went, whoa, hang on. So I'd read them all, and I couldn't be asked with the bit about them climbing trees as children. Or I was like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. But the day they started struggling and they were waiting tables to act, and they were, you know, selling themselves to act, whatever they were doing to get this struggle, I used to just devour those books.
The minute they made it and started making films in Hollywood, I put the book down. I wouldn't finish them. So I wanted to write the kind of book I'd have wanted to read at the same age. So I didn't sort of start going, and my childhood was really annoyingly happy. So it's not a great narrative. I just had a fucking great time with wonderful parents and a great family in the countryside skateboarding a lot. So it will come up. And funnily enough, in the second book, I suspect, I will talk about how the first germ of acting happened to me, but it's going to have to wait till I really get into some musical theatre, because actually thought I was going to be a stage manager and worked as a stage manager and got dragged into musical theatre land when I was 17. Went, oh, and that kicked something in. So those stories will come when they get opened by work. So I've kept work as the holding frame all the way through. So Bruford is I think it is mentioned, but it's not in detail. And yet I suspect in book 2, there's jobs I do in my second decade in the profession where I'll go back in. Like, for example, I talk about a play with shared experience with where I worked with Ashlyn McGukin, who was in our year at drama school. And then I worked with her professionally. And I was terrified of her at drama school because she was so beautiful, I couldn't talk to her. And so, I mean, I really couldn't talk to her. And then cut to sort of 7 years later, I'm in a play with her and it was all fine. So that made me talk about terrible moments talking to her at drama school. So it will come out. But Bruford, again, my story there was, I was like this geek, really. It'd be interesting what other people thought of me, but because I just discovered acting, I didn't buy beer, I bought theatre tickets. I mean, so boring. Thank you, Roy. And I'm going to just say what could appear in the book. I have to say, Roy was at drama school with us all. Roy is one of our greatest writers, playwrights alive, and genuinely so. But one of his first plays was workshopped.
Oh no!
With our year of actors was his pool of talent for a first play of Roy's. Now he wrote this wonderful play. What did it end up being called? It was
Far Away from Home.
No Boys Cricket Club. No,
Far Away from Home.
Far Away from Home. Thank you. Right. And we did not have a very multiracial year. Let's just put it that way, shall we? I was as black as the men got, right? So I played the hero of this piece for Roy, and I think we became friends because I kind of went for it, didn't I?
Oh yeah, yeah. You gave me
a very distressed teenage Jamaican boy, full out, full out. Obviously, I didn't black up, but what I did was I blacked in, and
you gave me bloody notes.
I gave you notes. I wanted to say it like that, guy.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Anyway, that somehow we became friends. Anyway, so that has to get in there, surely. Yeah, at some point. But I'll have to wait till I was turned down to play such a role. And I go, I don't know why they turned me down. I played at a drama school. Wrong with these people. Tunnel visioned. Oh my God, Craig's here. Anyway, look, anyone else with a question? Because I don't want to keep you all night, you know? This has been amazing, and we've already... James Mossop with the headphones, and you've dressed for BAFTA. God bless you, sir. God bless you. Fantastic.
Yeah, so my question is, I absolutely loved the book. I thought it was like one of the best books I've absolutely read, and it's helped us massively because I'm trying to, I'm doing amateur musical productions throughout, and it's, I've only just got into that pretty recently too, and it's actually helped us with everything. But my question is, what was your favourite part of writing the book?
Oh, wow, great question. Favourite part of writing the book? Okay. God, there are writers here who must know this so much more than I do, but it's new for me. So I got into acting late. I've now discovered the joy of writing. I'm not claiming to be a great writer, but
I think you can call yourself a writer when you've written things. And there is a moment when, be it script or book, when it takes you over and time disappears and you look up and 2 hours have gone by. And whatever that strange world is that you go into of, it's not just concentration, it's much easier than the word concentration. Any writer here, try and find the word for me, but that word when you're on a seam and you're digging away and it's going well, even if you read it back the next day and it's terrible. I'm sure it's the same for songwriting with my brother. There's when you're on it and it's coming out. So those they'd be, sometimes it'd be half an hour in a cafe. I like writing in public. I really like writing in cafes and on trains, and in orgies and stuff. But anyway, so I think a favorite bit has been when it carried me along and Marina must know that the times when it carries you along are amazing. And weirdly, I quite like editing. I quite like giving it space, coming back and going, oh no, and putting lines through things. There's something very kind of fun and liberating. We're so used as actors, we're so used to being beholden to other people for our opportunities and for our creative outlet, that being your own boss and calling when you're allowed to be creative is like, I mean, I waited 28 years. It seems ridiculous to go, oh, you're allowed to be creative. You have a laptop. Oh, okay. Which seems so stupid to only just work that out, but you really can. It doesn't have to be successful. You know, we've all made a big hoo-ha, but this thing it'll make it to 500 books, which is frankly astonishing. We're not talking, you know, it's not Harry Potter. But that's amazing. But it doesn't matter. I think you could write something and it never be read by other eyes, and it will still do you as much good as one that's read by thousands. It's fantastic. So great that you're getting into the acting stuff. Down the road, have a go at the writing stuff as well. Why not? Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Brilliant. There we are. I mean, it's midnight, isn't it? Bronwyn hasn't said a word yet. I'm really nervous. Bronwyn Astor, look. Bronwyn Astor and my mum in the same room for the first time since... I mean,
people know Bronwyn.
Bronwyn Astor here, Show Love UK. Wave, please, Bron. Bronwyn was the lady who took my virginity when I was just 11. No, sorry, not 11. Not 11.
9.
No, it was later. It was later than that.
I knew you were going to say that. Your daughter's here as well. Stop it, you're making...
She knows I've had sex. How do you think she came into the world? She's not yours, is she? No. Jess can't go any redder. She's already glowing.
Yes.
Anyway, that's it. Anyway, hello, Bron.
That's all I'm good for.
No, it's not. Come on now. You got me on chums.
Talk about you.
Enough about me. What did you think of my performance?
I thought you were great.
You can all have that line. It's a good line. Okay, that's it. I think we're winding up. I feel a natural...
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Yes,
can hear
Nikki.
me, Joe. Hi, Joe. I said it earlier, but I have stopped at 2005. It's such a good book. As somebody that still works in the arts, as somebody that knows you very well, who's had your cock on my head so many times. We used to live together, and that's what Joe used to do.
That's funny, I've had that too.
For somebody who knows who knew you when you didn't drink. I was so excited when we were grown-ups and then you drank. It was such a...
It was teetotal. And I think my penis has emerged less with alcohol.
But listen...
That can only be a good thing, surely.
We are,
Surely.
obviously, we're all super proud of you, but the book's great. And as somebody that is still working with young people, it's such a good book for me to share with my 16 to 19-year-olds who are full of starry eyes, but actually... This is the no nonsense, and it really is the no nonsense, no bullshit thing about the real art and craft of acting. So, I'm a bit pissed because you said get pissed, and I put a dress on and I drank some prosecco. But Joe, I'm dead proud of you. I'm a bit of a wanker, and it's a great book. Well done.
Oh, well done, Joe.
Harriet Walter, I've loved you since 1989, and I'm
Vicky, get her off. Get her off. Harriet, I didn't bring you here for this.
Well done, Joe.
Congratulations, Joe.
Congratulations.
I hope this is enough.
Brilliant, Joe.
Awesome.
Thank you, Joe. Well done.
Great.
Congratulations.
You're all amazing. Thank you, Tom. I think I'll just let everyone go now. Matthew, Leader, Fergus, everyone.
Thanks, Joe. Bye.
Tom's there somewhere. Thank you all. Thank you.
Bye.
Tell your friends. We're here all week.